Hello and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you a laser engraver, and this is from Woxcker, and it's the JL7 model. This one is a 10 volt diode laser, has a bed size of 400 by 400, so it's a square format. But that's about it. I don't know much about this laser engraver. Thank you for the companies to sending this out to me for review. My video is not scripted, so hopefully I can show you what your money can buy and you be the judge of how good or how bad this product is. So at the moment it's $479, so this is a kind of a budget stroke mid-range laser engraver. I'll put the link in the description and you can check out their website. Look out for discount codes because there is always a deal to be had. So for less than £500, what do you get? So you get a box like this, which is pretty compact compared to other laser engraver that I received from the post before. So you have your instruction booklet, a thick book of instructions right here, a couple of pieces of paper, a metal plate, more wooden sample, and once you get rid of the first layer of the foam, you're greeted by more boxes. And this one is the safety glasses. Let's check them out. So with laser engraver, obviously you need to protect your eyes. And this one comes with a green pair of laser goggles. The size is extendable and it turns everything green. You've got a box of tools and accessories. And here you got some cleaning brushes, USB cable, a wrench, hex key, a laser lens, some screws and fittings, and they all have been labeled on the bag. Next comes a box of power adapter. I'm in the UK, so they shipped out a 3-pin plug and a power brick. Now the power brick is an output of 12 volt, 5 ampere at 60 volt maximum output. In this bag you will find your laser module. So this one already have a protective lens attached, so this one will be a kind of a spare. The laser module is made of plastic casing and they have metal body inside the plastic casing. So for connection, this has a 3-pin socket on the side right here. And with this version of JL7, there is no air assist, so there is no air inlet available. The fan actually cools the heat sink as well as provide air into the lens part to protect the lens from smoke. So next up we have one of the rail. This is the X-axis rail because it has the slot for your laser module. Underneath you can see the belt and the pulleys, and this rail is made of a strong and rigid metal. And on the last layer you will find the frame for your laser machine. The metal seems to be really well made. There's no wobble or hard edges. There's no wobble or sharp edges anywhere, so this is one side of your machine. So one good thing about this machine is all the belt is pre-installed. Hopefully the tension is already adjusted to the right setting as well. And this is the front of the machine with the company logo in the front. And you can see that, you know, the controller, the board and the wireless antennae is all kind of hidden inside these brackets. So in the front of the frame you got your SD card slot for your memory card, a push power button, a USB port, USB-C port and the power inlet. And that's it, that's the last layer in your box. Now I don't claim to be an expert in laser engraver, but I did kind of put together at least 6 or 7 different machines already. And I can already tell you that this is the easiest machine to put together because there is literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces of metal and all the belt and the pulleys is already installed. And none of the pulleys and the belt are on display. One of the things I hated the most is when I'm doing a lot of engraving job back to back, often you will find a lot of dust and thing landing on the rail itself. But with this one here, you can still get dust accumulate inside the cover, but it will be a lot less to clean. So let me read the instructions and put it together so I can start testing the machine. Okay, so I got everything laid out here. I did have a look at the instruction, but there is not much to read because it's quite simple to put together. The frame obviously got the left and right hand side, and you got the controller board in the front right here. All the ports should be facing forward, and yeah, so hopefully you guys can see how I'm going to put this all together. Now you need the back screw, which is a S1 here, and you also need a L wrench, which is included. But yeah, feel free to skip forward if you want just to see how this machine functions. I do quite like the design of this machine where everything is actually covered, but even the stepper motor is actually hidden inside the rail. And then what you need to do is connect the two stepper motors. So the wire is already near the place anyway, so you can't really mess it up. So one on each side. So there's two motor which control the movement of that, and then you got the X. And they got the X-axis. Okay, next we need to get some S4 clips, which is S4 here. And we need two of this, and what it does is it secure the main cables on the underside of the machine. And then you have to install the limit switch onto the axle, but they're already labeled, so just two of these small screws for each of the limiter. And this one you need a very small Phillips screwdriver for this. So I'm going to install the X first. And finally, the laser module needs the power feed from the end of this wire, and that's it. But to tidy it, you still need to put the clips onto place. So altogether 30 minutes is what it took me to assemble. At the moment everything is running smoothly and it's not fouling anything anymore because the cable is all kind of tidy out of the way. The only thing I really need to adjust is the laser head. This is one of those that you have 3 wheels and one of them with eccentric nuts. So you need a wrench to help to tighten that, kind of stop the wobbling. And this is what I will attempt to do. You don't need to over tighten it, and you don't want to over tighten it. All you want to do is to make sure there's no more wobble and it's not too much of a resistance. So it's not too tight, so to say. Okay, I think that is just right. So the frame is squared, there's no wobble on the laser module, and it can reach the maximum, allows the cable to go, and to the minimum until the limit switch actually hits both in the right place. So now we are ready to power on the machine and start testing the machine. So what I first need to do is start up my computer and get it connected so I can start Lightburn, and I need to import the settings from here onto Lightburn, or I need to create it as a new engraver. Now, since my PC already have a few settings for different laser engraver which run on the same controller, so it should detect automatically. I press the power button here, and then now the machine is on. So it comes with a micro SD card, and I'm going to use the file on the SD card to import the setting into my Lightburn. And after that, then I should be able to control. This laser engraver. Okay, so I have Lightburn ready. I'm going to just test out how the machine works. Set it to home. Alright, back to framing. And then I'm just going to start. Yep, I can see my engraved mark right here. Now I'm not going to burn anything yet because I want to see what other things it can do. So I'm going to use the wireless option. Okay, the instruction comes with a QR code and will take you to install the MKSLaser. Alright, so I opened it and it takes me to a very basic screen right here. But I do need to connect my phone to the machine, and that relies on your Wi-Fi signal between your phone and the machine. So that should be quite easy to set up. So all you need to do is find the Wi-Fi network and then type in the generic password. Okay, so now we are connected to the Wi-Fi, and then I need to go back to the setting and then press the link button. So now my phone is connected to the machine, and I can control the movement and send it back to home. What else can it do? Alright, so now I got my phone connected to the laser engraver. I'll attempt to use the software to operate. So first of all, let's do control and move it to home position. And I'm trying to do a creations right here. So I'm going to just probably type my name instead of doing anything fancy. So you can choose grayscale, strong, sketch, or dither. So I'm going to use sketch. And then you have to choose a work speed and power. So I'm going to do 8,000. 8,000 is the maximum? Yeah, so 8,000 millimeter per minute is the maximum, and percentage wise I'm just going to use like 20% or 30%, so I'm going to do 300. So 300 out of 1,000, so that will be 30%. The size wise is going to be 5 mil by 2 mil. This is tiny, right? So let's make it slightly bigger, and then go to upload. Confirm. I know it's tiny, but yeah, it does work. So this one is from my phone to the laser head. So the software is a bit basic, but you have that option to control your phone with the laser machine. But I'm most likely going to be just using Lightburn. But I do want to show you guys that you can wirelessly control your laser engraver. So I set up a simple project on Lightburn and see how the machine will do. The machine is in my smoke-free enclosure, and I'm going to press start, and I'll show you guys what it can and what it can't do on this piece of 3mm MDF. So without air assist, it does look like burn through because I can see some laser on the bottom layer. But I can also see there's some kind of a fire going on. So I'm setting this on 350 on 2 passes. So this is the second pass. And you can see from the metal plate that it cuts cleanly through already. Yep, there was a bit of a schoolboy error, so I forgot to turn on the engraving layer, and that's why I only cut but didn't engrave. But this will be a good test to see how well it lines up as well, because it went home and then now it's starting to engrave again. Now this is extremely high speed, which is at 8,000 mil per minute, and it's on 95%. Now I use the setting which is similar to my previous laser at 10 volt, and it turns out quite good. There we go. Clean cut, good engraving. So I had the machine for a few days and I have been engraving non-stop, and let me show you what the machine can do, and then I will talk about what I like and what I don't like about the machine. Bottle opener, this one I engraved with 4000 speed and 80 power. It gives a really deep engraving, and I do like these kind of novelty items because they do sell really well as well. They're not expensive and you can sell loads of these. The next thing I done was the same MDF. So same MDF, but now this time I engrave a photo. So this one I engraved with 8000 speed, 90 power and 282 dot per inch. And to cut it I use 500 millimeter per minute at 95%. If you focus it correctly, actually it only takes one cut at 500 speed and 95%, but the second pass will make sure that it gives you a clean cutout. Then I move on to aluminium cards, which is quite demanding in terms of your focusing and also the and the settings. So I've done a few testing, and then finally I end with 1000 speed, 25% power and 282 dot per inch. That kind of gave me the result that I wanted. A big thank you to Craft. So they gave me a sample pack and they told me that, you know, please use it for my future video. So I got that for free, and one of the easiest to use material, because they already got a bank of setting on their website. This is a 10 volt laser, so I used the 10 volt laser to do a testing cut. So this one I cut at 700 millimeter per minute at 95% power, and these take 2 cuts. I always do 1 cut, and then the second pass is just to make sure that it actually cuts through, and it works perfectly fine. And to engrave, this is 4000 speed and 50% power at 423 dpi. It looks like metal, but it's not. This is scratch acrylic. So basically it's a piece of acrylic which is black underneath, but as soon as you burn away the surface, then it shows the black behind, which is really cool. Then I move on to scratch leather. So this is from Craft as well, and this one I cut it with 700 speed and 95% power, 2 pass. And to engrave it is 4000 speed and 30% power at 317 or 318 dot per inch. Very interesting material because it feels like leather, and it has a top layer which is orange, but when you engrave away the first part of the orange, it becomes black. So this one will be a very nice patch for t-shirts or for caps and stuff like that. And then I move on to the white tiles, which is another one of my favorite testing medium. So this one here, you spray it with titanium powder and then you engrave it. The result is that whatever engraving on the white tile is never going to come off. The titanium dioxide reacts with the laser and etch into the tile itself. So you do have to do your own testing because every batch of titanium dioxide you spray will be different. Some people use white paint as well, like a spray can, but I only use ethanol and powder mix to do my own kind of a titanium powder spray. I did put a few videos up on YouTube to show people how to do this, so if you want to follow it, just look it up. In terms of this particular machine, I decided to use 1500 speed, 40% power, and 0.09 interval. So this kind of interval test, you can do it in Lightburn. And so far, when I talk about the laser, I haven't even talked about, like, you know, the fine tuning as such. This is just the basic of how you will be using this machine. To fine tune the machine, I still need to do a ramp test and maybe some other more adjustment to it, but this is what you can expect out of the box. With the focusing, I didn't even find the best focus ring. I just followed the manufacturer guidance. On the side of the laser housing, there's a little tab, and then you turn it down, hit the material with it, and then you set the height of the laser, and that's your kind of a focusing. It's very crude method of focusing the laser because what I find over the years is every laser has a different focal length to what they actually say from the manufacturer. And I love this kind of a project because I got the tiles free anyway, and the titanium dioxide and ethanol is really cheap, so you know you can really enjoy practicing with this machine. I like the design of the machine where all the rails are enclosed in a metal casing. So the belt and pulleys and the stepper motor, you can't see it. Everything is enclosed in this. Everything is enclosed with metal. The cable management is the simplest I have seen in any of the machines so far. So they give you some plastic clip where you clip the cables down and leave you just long enough for the laser head to move. And that goes with both of the axes as well. So this one here as well, they block down the first couple of inches of the cable, and the rest of them are free hanging. And then as it extends, then you can see that it allows it to reach to the max 400. It comes with 2 end switches, so every time it homes, it's quite accurate. It always goes back to the last time that where it cuts. I haven't got a double image or anything like that so far. So what I don't like about this machine, so first of all, you can use a mobile phone to engrave, but the software is still very crude, and I find that it's not very intuitive, especially like, you know, the positioning of the laser. You have to mark it as home first, or else it's always like engrave default where it is. So you can't really have the visual of the bed size and then move the image to it. You have to move it to the home position, and then it will engrave where the image will be. And the second thing is the laser head. So this one here, I love the thumb screw control. It's really long and you don't have to struggle. But as you can see, the laser at the moment is wobbling. And I have tightened it 3 or 4 times already. The eccentric nuts at the bottom here doesn't really want to stay in one position. So you do really have to adjust it all the time. So you do need to check every time you start a project to make sure the laser head is not you know, loose or anything like that. It's really the last bottom wheel here which actually tightens it. So yeah, just check before you do your project as your general check. I will probably do a few more videos on these machines because I still haven't done glass, I haven't done slate, and there's a few other interesting material that I will test as well. But for a mid-range laser, I think they did a very good job. Thank you very much for watching. I can't wait to see you next time with more interesting gadgets. Bye bye.